My hand trembled as I turned on the steering wheel. I felt like a kamikaze pilot about to take my last flight. Today's mission is important, my friend, I said to myself as I set to pick off my trusty lawyer. The sky was ominous, and I began to fright as I grew near to his abode. Once he got into my red pickup, with the front end falling off, we made our way to the mission zone. This is where the scares truly begin. We are on the river Styx, my friends. The deeper we went, the less souls there were until we arrived at the gates of hell. The theater lobby was near silent. We approached like two Western white hats. I repeated the mission in my head, but me and Laszlo had been in complete silence since I picked him up. Two tickets to Snow White, please, Laszlo stuttered. The theater boy was stunned. He looked at us as though we'd asked to be evaporated. He said, "Are you sure?" 2 tickets to Snow White, Laszlo repeated confidently this time, but his body trembled. I thought it was only me who was frightened, as sweat poured over my brow and stung my eyes. Middle management was appalled, as though we had dropped strychnine into their puppy's food bowl. I ordered popcorn, an item that could elevate even the most devastating assault on the senses to protect us. We knew we should likely come stocked, and that we did. We were loaded with 1,042 popped kernels, 3 ounces of Chinese manufactured vegetable oil, 2 milk chocolate Kit Kat bars, and 32 Milk Duds tightly contained in their packaging. The pricing was ludicrous, a keepsake of a bygone era perverted by the economy and the evil that lurked from the mistakes by men in suits. We were in the war zone, and I wasn't about to walk in without it. I entered the restroom, a bold statement to Laszlo that I'd be sitting through this in its entirety. I was approached by ghosts of past and present, and you best believe the Dinkler was waiting for me. I told him of a dream I had that was not too unlike one by King Jr. Little Dinklages would be coming in to see this in droves, had they casted them. This would be their magnum opus, their Black Panther. He curtly said, "Fuck the midgets, I'm a star," and vanished. How ironic to pull up the ladder on those who need it most. We entered the theater, which was soulless, and yet I felt eyes attached to every blind spot. The movie began, and that's when the effects kicked in. I felt tingling all over as though death was upon me. Then started the full body paralysis. All I could feel was my tongue squirm and attempt to scream as though it was a caged serpent. Then the popcorn went soggy and stale simultaneously, an impossibility to any connoisseur. My eyes were in disbelief of what I saw. Too few little Dinklages. One, but still too few. Wooden marionettes were on the screen going through the motions. It was what all the fear of AI had been boiled down to into one film. A soulless movie devoid of life. The best aspects were created by a computer. Our AI overlords were laughing in our faces as though they had clearly unveiled their first attacks against our psyches, and mine was already nearly lost. It was as though the live-action affair could never live up to the animated creation. The birds in the film slowly became bats, as though to attempt to wake me from this dream, or better said, nightmare. Like any dream, this movie was forgotten as abruptly as it ended. It was a car crash that was stuck in slow motion to last 109 minutes. It was the only time I truly felt bad for myself. Laszlo had been unconscious since the previews ended. Realizing I was on this mission alone made me thank my lucky stars I made it through. The movie was an allegorical play of the DNC's misdeeds towards Joe Biden, a bold take so shortly in the wake of its aftermath. There were biblical themes that were too high-minded for myself and the viewers to understand. It could only wash over the audience, but never soak in. Once the credits hit, I tried to steady myself as everything was jello. People have asked, have you ever used a half star? What constitutes that? Well, friends, I'd have to die while watching me use that. 1 star would be indicative of a 9/11 style event occurring during the picture, so on and so forth. I'd arrived at a 0.75, and while this film deserves no charity, I must round up to a 1-star rating. When I finally found my footing and awoke Laszlo, I turned towards the far back corner. Rachel Zegler stood and said thanks for watching before she bled into thin air. I knew that my existence would never be the same. Some experiences have a price, not worth paying, my friends. I swore to never visit that godforsaken movie once again, and once we made it out of there alive, I intend on sticking to that so long as I live. Truly yours, HCP.